Hi, Julia Watts here, welcome to my YouTube channel. So we're going to be looking at the new Chalky Paints and Greyboard from Sentimentally Yours, and I'm going to be making you a card. So this is going to be done in like steps, and the first step I've already started, so I can take you through what we're doing. So just to let you know, I'm not stocking the Chalky Paints or the Greyboard. They are available from honeypotcrafts.co.uk. A lot of the other stuff that I'm using you'll find over on my own website, juliawattscrafts.co.uk. So I've made a start already, and what I've done is I have embossed, there's a debossed side, a piece of pure white card from Sentimentally Yours using the classic flourish, and you can see already it's changing colour, and that's with one of the new Chalky Paints. I've also cut some of the fabulous fronds out of pure white card, and we're going to change the colour of those as well. And the colour I'm using is the new subtle shade sage. Obviously forgot to put my teeth in this morning. So let's just show you what I've been doing. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the paint out and put it on my craft sheet and giving it a mist with water, and this makes the paint go further and you still keep that beautiful pigment. And obviously, because this is embossed, you need to work the brush into all the crevices of the embossing folder. You can do it another way. You can actually paint your card first and then emboss it after the paint's dry, but we're doing it this way for the background. So that needs to dry, and then we'll be doing something else to that. You see, even though it's watered down, I mean it's a little bit patchy because it's drying, it's still a beautiful subtle colour. There you go. Okay, so put that to one side and let's just paint the leaves. And we should, I'll get quite painty, just dragging this flat brush. And these are from Indigo Blue actually. Nice big set of brushes. And if I do it quite lightly, I should keep some of the white in the veins. You can do it with watercolour card, but I'm wanting my base to actually be the pure white. Drag this over. And you keep on going until all of your leaves are covered. And then we'll have a tidy up, and then I'll show you what else we're doing. Okay, so now we're going to stamp some flowers using the paint, and the other colour I'm using is Secret Blush, which is another of the new ones. And I'm using, this is an Indigo Blue paint mat, and I've got the medium size, or the second largest size of the Floral Finery Dreamy stamps, and this one, a 4-petal one, on my circular acrylic block. And so we need to start with a bit of paint. Don't forget there's paint in the lid when you first get them, so that's a really good thing to use. And we're going to just paint just a little bit onto our sheet there, like that. Put the brush to, I'm trying to do it so you can actually see. And then take your stamp and just tap it into, I don't know if you can see, there's paint on there, into your paint. Press it down, take it off. Don't linger too much because you can hear it come off, and then we've got that image stamped with the Chalky Paint. So, and you can keep on going. You can replenish the order of your paint so that you get a good coverage, and then dip in again and stamp. I get carried away when I do this, because while your stamp's dirty, you might as well carry on and keep on stamping. Okay. What is very important is that you actually clean that, and I'm just going to mist it with water for now, and just wipe it off with a towel. It's really easy just to run it under a tap, cold water tap, with a nail brush, and it all comes clean. But you can see that stamp's nice and clean now. So as long as the acrylic paint doesn't dry, your stamps are absolutely fine. So what we're also going to do, once those are dry, we'll cut those out with the coordinating dies. But while we've got this on here, we will use this to paint the Greyboard, and this is the wired one, and I've cut it down to what did I cut it down to? Just shy of 5.5 inches wide, because I do old money, and it's going to fit inside a frame. And you'll need to work at it. If you want to be very, very precise, you can pick it up and actually paint on the insides as well, which is obviously going to take me a little bit of time. So I'm going to carry on. That's the smoky stuff is where the lasers cut it. I'm going to carry on painting it, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's finished, and then I'll show you what we're going to do with our card. So my card's evolving a little bit. I'm changing my mind as I'm going along. Next we're going to stamp Sentiment, and we're going to use Tapetastic to the acclamational, and I've got To My Wonderful I've pulled out of there, and then I pull Friend out of the Family set, and you'll find both those on my website, juliawatcraft.co.uk. So I've got them in my stamping platform. Ignore the paper I've got in the background, it's just so that I can stamp off of the edge. And again, we've got a little strip. Use all your scraps when you're using these stamp sets of the pure white. And I'm going to use bundled sage because I think that'll match really nicely with the subtle sage paint. We could stamp with the paint, but I think I'll get more detail with the oxide. It's a big stamping platform, but it's much of my favourite. To My Wonderful, it needs a clean because it's got Finery on it. But you can just pop them in water and use a nail brush, and then the VersaFine clear will come off. You don't actually need to use any specialist cleaner with the VersaFine clear. There we go. Let me show you that. To My Wonderful Friend. We're going to give that a chance to dry, and then we're going to cut that out. I'll put that to one side. I do want to do some more stamping with the paint as well. As I said, I'm evolving. So we're going to bring in some layers. I have got my wire Greyboard, which has been painted now. And I have painstakingly gone in the nooks and crannies. Not the very tiny bit, but because I don't like to see the brown on the sides there. So anyway, that's painted, and that's to remind you that's the secret blush. And then our background is dry. We're going to do something with the background. Isn't that lovely? Remember, it's white card. And we've got flowers and leaves there. We've also got a frame here. Now the frame's been cut out using the debossed double stitched squares, and I think what we're going to do, because the plan is might deviate is that the flowers are going to go top left, bottom right. That's my standard. So we're going to do some stamping in the bottom left and top right. Let's see, we're going to bring in the indigo blue paint mat again, and we're going to add some paint onto another brush. So I've got one brush per colour. So we're going to do this as a variegated dual tone painting. So we're going to use a little bit of the blush, and we're going to use a little bit of the subtle sage as well. So just as before, got some dry paint there. Let's move that off. Come off the way. Yeah. So just as before, we're going to pop some paint onto our mat, just to create a palette or an ink pad if you like. Probably far too much. Let's just put that in the pot. Trying to work in about 6 inches worth of space. And then we're going to bring in the sage, and we're going to bring that so that it overlaps like that. Move that away. Watch the camera as per. And then, oh, we need the stamp, don't we? So I'm going to go to a really old stamp set. This I think was, it might have been with a box set as an extra. I can't remember really. It's really old. This is called Textural Temptations. So some of you might have it. You might find it on the Honeypot Crafts website. If not, I'm sorry. But you can use lots of other stamps. You can use sections of the Sunflower Parade, the big images, and just to add a little bit of detail. We're going to go for this flower. Little look stamp set, and let's grab an acrylic block. I don't really want to do a really big one, but this is what we're using. Right, and we're going to go into the ink pad in inverted commas and pick up some paint onto that stamp, and then we're going to stamp it. Let's bring a bit of kitchen roll in so don't make too much mess in the corner. So we're going bottom left. Yeah, let's have it this way. Want a bit of both colours. See how it turns out. It's just a little bit in the corner. Doesn't have to be perfect, and it definitely isn't. And then we're going to go again. Let's just repair that ink pad. It's quite warm, so the paint is actually drying quite quickly, unfortunately. And do the same with the sage. Let's add a little bit more actually. You don't need to waste this. You can make backgrounds, and just mist it and make backgrounds with it. And then turn that and go in this corner and do exactly the same thing. Hopefully a bit quicker, and then we go a better image. It's just to add a little bit of interest to the frame. I normally get carried away, and yeah, I've missed that bit in the middle again. I'm going to have to live with that. Let's see if we can go on again. Thing is to put I know what we'll do. We'll get another stamp star. If you remember to put a matte or something underneath, then that's going to give you a better image, which I normally do. Let's take this style and grab a circular block, and there's always a way around. Let's just pop it. I'm going to pop this stamp into some water because you don't want the paint to dry on there, and we go into this one and put some stars up there like that. Yeah, we've got some stars on there now. We've also got a bit of, this one's not too bad actually. Let's just put some stars down the bottom. I think it's because my paint's drying, because it's so warm. That'll do. It'll be alright, it'll be right. Okay, so we're going to put that in the bucket as well so that the paint doesn't dry on it. Then what we're also going to do is we're going to take, that'll go on that layer like that, and then we're going to take the next layer, which is bigger, so we have a gap, and we're going to, let's put it back on here actually, trying to make little as mess as possible, but failing miserably. And I've got a natural sponge here, and these are brilliant for making backgrounds. And let's grab a bit more paint, pop it on our mat, and we're going to just scrunch it up. So when you get them, they're really, really hard, and you need to just pop them into water and then squeeze all the water out, and then you can pop them into your paint. Move that out of the way, and then it's a great technique actually for doing walls, you know, when you're decorating. Years ago I did some of my walls in various different colours. It was great fun. You don't need much, just a subtle, and we're going to do the same thing with the sage. Use a different area of the sponge so we get different texture. Not all of this will be visible. Don't overthink it. Make sure you've got some all the way around the edge. Okay, so that's going to go in my bowl of water again, and you can use those over and over and over. I've had mine for absolutely years. What else are we doing? Right, okay, we'll pop those in the bucket, and when you pop your lids on, make sure you hear a click, so then no air gets to your paint and your paint's going to last. To one side, and put that to one side to dry. That won't take long because there's not much paint in that. Right, so next we're going to go back to our background that we embossed, or that I embossed, and it's lovely like that. If we grab the Greyboard, we can see that that works really nicely with it. But what you can also do is sand it back. And remember, this is white, so if we sand it back, and this is just a Tim Holtz sanding back that I've had for years, you can just use any old sanding block. We're going to sand it back to the core, and the core is white. Hopefully you can see it's starting to come out. You can do this with your inks as well, if you see colour some cards. You used to be able to get colour cards from Ranger as well, like coordinations it was called. and that is great. So some of them had like a white core, but then you had cracked core as well. Like a dust body as well. Don't do this on your craft sheet because you were going into craft sheet. I think that's enough. Give that a, put that to one side. So now we've got just a little bit more interest. Fabulous, absolutely fabulous. Great wallpaper this, I think. Let's get rid of that. And we bring the craft sheet back again, wherever I put it. There it is. And I think we're ready to start. Let's start doing a little bit of, oh, we'll do this. I'll show you how I do the shaping of the flowers. I've got my flowers all ready. So just as before, when you take your die, this is the Floral Finery Perfectly Plain, and these are the ones that I stamped out in front of you. So this is the medium one, so you just line it up over the top, like so, get some low tack tape, run it through. Let's see if I can pick that up without it moving. Low tack tape, run it through, and then obviously this is the next size up, but they're absolutely fabulous. I love these stamps. So that's the Dreamy stamp set that goes with the Perfectly Plain. And like with all of these, what I've been doing is putting, because I like to see the beautiful stamped image on there. So the best way to kind of retain that is to pop your finger in the middle and just use your forefinger and your thumb of your other hand. Obviously you might be, I'm right-handed, so I do it this way. If you're left-handed, you might be the other way. And it just breaks down the fibres, but you keep those beautiful flowers together, and then just offset them. And then what I've done is, what have I done with them? There they are. I've popped in the centre of mine, I've popped a jade shimmer pearl, which you can only get from Honeypot Crafts. All the gems, pearls and flat back gems are available from Honeypot. But this has got a lovely shimmer to it, and I thought that would fit really nicely with our card. So let's go to our layers. So we've got an 8x8 card, and then I've got a white layer, and my stamped layer is going on my white layer. So let's glue this together. With Sentimentally Yours PVA. Let's see if we can get this straight. Oh. Bang the camera again. Now if you wanted to add extra colour, you can actually edge perhaps with the Bundle Sage Oxide if you wanted to. But I do want it to be quite subtle. So that's that one. And then we've got, this one is going on here, isn't it? Yep. And then we're going to have this one on here. But we're going to have the frame around that first. Let's get the frame on first. So remember, we've got bottom left. Let's have the better one, bottom left. Like that. Okay. And I'm just going to use 1mm foam tape. So I don't want it to be too deep. Scissors. This is woodware foam tape, which again you'll find on my website. Now with the Greyboard isn't like MDF. I'm sure a lot of you will have already purchased it. It's very light, so it has hardly any weight to your card. In fact, your foam tape and your card itself is going to add the most weight. Loving that background. This is just to reiterate, this is the classic Flourish embossing folder. I might do it this way actually, because it's super sticky. And then we're going to put this onto other background, around other white piece. Obviously you can make the card smaller if you want to. It doesn't have to be an 8x8. You just adjust the size of the frame and maybe go for the 3 smallest flowers rather than the 3 largest flowers. See, choices are yours. Obviously it looks slightly different if you use the 3 petal flowers as well. This is going to go on here. Like so. And this is going to go on here, like that. I think we will keep it fairly flat. See that subtle background with the sponging is really effective, I think. Okay. I'm going to put this on our card. There's quite a few layers on this. Obviously adjust the layers if you don't want as many. And also, if you want to put more foam tape on, have at it. Whatever you want to do. Okay, so now we're going to put the Greyboard in. Remember, I trimmed this. This is the full width, and it's just shy of 5.5 inches because I'm old school. So I wanted to make it square, so it's just going to slot in underneath that there. So it is slightly proud of the frame, which I wanted it that way. If you want your frame to be higher, obviously use deeper foam tape, but I didn't want to do that. So to get this on here, what we're going to do is give it a scribble. Glue. Keep on doing it. And dip it in. I mean, you can go round and round and round and round if you want to. What are we doing? I think I need some more. Can't see it. Just trying to do it the quickest way possible. because you've got that height, so you're not dipping your fingers in the glue, which is quite good. Make sure they've got some in the corners. You can also use spray glue, of course, if you that's what rocks your boat. Right, let's just move that out of the way for a sec. I'm going to drop this into our background. I'm just going to pop it underneath my board. Put that over there so it doesn't catch any of the dross that's remaining while I cut out the sentiment. Now, these are really easy to cut out. Let me sit down because I can do it better if I sit down. So you can either cut it right on the line, or you can cut it out and leave it a slight little border. I think I'm going to go for a little border. On each one. It's wonderful, isn't it, to be able to say amazing, wonderful, what was the other ones? The affirmations rather. So you've got wonderful, special, amazing, the best, incredible, very, very wonderful, very, there's the best somewhere. Yeah, there's the best. Hang on, I can't read and cut. Precious, awesome, brilliant, smashing, all the things that you'd like to say to your friend or your relatives. And it makes it so much more personal. Two more to go. Terrific, dazzling, hilarious. That's probably needs to go on my card really, doesn't it? Super duper. Is the most. Yeah, there's that. So you could say to the most marvellous cutie pie. To the most marvellous friend. That's quite a nice one, isn't it? We're saying wonderful, but I could easily say to the most wonderful friend. Okay, all cut out. Really easy to do. And if you wanted to, you could add a little bit of ink or paint around the edges. Remember, you can actually pick up the paint onto a little bit of cut and dry foam and actually edge your sentiments and pick die cuts in the same way as you would if you were using ink. And Phil's done these so they fit foam tape perfectly. Just the right width, especially if you cut yourself a little border. So again, I'm going for 1mm, trying to keep it smaller. Oh, a bit cockeyed there, hang on. Just cut a bit off. So, last one. Those wonderful friend, and I've got my flowers, I've got my leaves, and we can just finish off the card. Let's pick up my leaves. Ah, drop one. This didn't go in the water. Remember, I painted the leaves just lightly with the sage paint, so you can still see the veins. Where's the card? Yeah, that's well and truly anchored now, which is good. Make sure that we're opening it in the right direction. Let's see where we want things. So we've got our two largest flowers, and then we're going to have the medium ones, and have a little song while we're doing it. It's really funny because when I'm playing games with my son, he does like little songs. He says, and we'll have this card, and we'll have that card. It's really funny too. My wonderful friend. I need it to sit on top of that. Okay, that'll work. That looks good, doesn't it? Right, I'm happy with that. Right, let's get the flowers on first, and then we tuck the leaves in. Just with PVA. Obviously, if you are a user of pin flare, you can use that. But I prefer my PVA. Let's get the glue on the backs of all of these actually. And I might put a bit of glue on the back of my sentiment as well, because it's going onto the Greyboard. It gives the double-sided tape extra security. So we're going this one down here, see how it looks. And this one up here, like so. Let's drop down into the gap, that's fine. See, it's going onto the Greyboard, so it's not a flat surface it's going onto. And we'll have this one here. I want to leave enough space so I can get a gem in each corner of my frame as well. Where are you going? You want to go there, don't you? Is that what you want to be? Little flower. Okay. And as always, let's split up the leaves into a 3 and a 2. And as always, I'm going to give them a little bit of shape because I can. And I think I want to make sure I do my normal thing and have the leaves so that they're sticking out the edge. And then they won't go in the envelope, which is really annoying. I annoy myself a lot when I do that. Where are you going to go? Okay, there. Are you happy with that? Little flower? Is that where you're going? It is, isn't it? Right, we want to be going over a bit. Sorry, that's where you're going. And a 2. Let's give that bit shape. Obviously, if this is boring, just fast forward over the bits that are boring. Sometimes it's good to have things in real time so you know how long they take. Obviously, the prep does take quite a long time. As always, I might just use the 2 and 2. 2 and 3 rather than, I always have loads of these little singular ones left over, but when I cut, I think I might as well do it. Bit shape. It is nice to see a little bit of white, I think. You see the little bit of white. Where's this going? So, I think it's going to go in there. Actually, it's quite good to have a camera to look at, and then you can see exactly where you're putting stuff. So at home, if you've not got, obviously got a setup like I have here, if you just take photographs, so lay things out as you think you might want them, and then take a photograph, and that will kind of give you an idea as to whether you're going in the right direction or not. And we're going to have that one tucked in there like so. Well, you can see a bit of glue there. I wasn't happy with that. Right, okay, that looks good to me. So let's get our sentiment on. So remember, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on each one, just so that it definitely sticks to the Greyboard. And if I go on that junction there, it'll give me more traction, but I do need to make sure it's straight-ish as best I can round a camera, which is not that easy. Okay, that works. Here are my black bits. It's from where there's black card being cut on my plate, my die cutting machine. Right, so to my wonderful friend. I'm really pleased that I actually sanded that background back. I think it does benefit from the extra detail that you get from sanding it back. Okay, then we're just going to finish off with a pearl in each corner of my frame. Add the glue first. And then we're going to go for, again, obviously the jade shimmer. Remember, you can go and get that from Honey Pot. It's easier if you tip some into the lid. And then use my pickup tool, which comes in a set of 2. Just manipulating it to warm it up. And then I'll pick up an 8mm. Now with the shimmer pearls, I've got a bit of fluff. With the shimmer pearls, you actually do get 8mm, 5mm and 3mm. The ombres you only get 8 and 5, because it's hard to get an ombre on the tiny, teeny, tiny ones. And then with your flat back gems, you only get 5 and 8, I believe. Such beautiful, beautiful pearls. Do, if you haven't got any of the shimmer pearls, do have a look at Honey Pot Crafts for their shimmer pearls. Absolutely beautiful. It'll definitely add a bit of elegance to your card. Okay, so that is it, all done. I hope you enjoyed that. Hope it's been useful. Hope you got some ideas on how to use your Greyboard and to make a stunning, stunning card for your best friend or whatever relative you actually want to make it for. Do remember that you can find a lot of the products that I've used at juliawattscrafts.co.uk. I don't have the gems, I don't have the new colours of Chalky Paints, although I do have some of the older colours, and I don't have the Greyboard. For those items, you can definitely go and find them over at honeypotcrafts.co.uk. Do like and subscribe if you're not already on my YouTube channel. I do love to read your comments, and enjoy your day. Thank you for watching.